We're talking with Dr. Jeremiah Davis of Mississippi State University here at the Poultry Production and Health Seminar in Memphis, Tennessee. Dr. Davis has done quite a bit of research into alternative bedding materials for poultry production. Dr. Davis, how does litter affect bird performance?
Sure. Litter affects bird performance because it's the main contact surface that the broilers interact within that housing system. You have issues with dealing with ammonia, especially with these built-up litters, and how do we get that litter out of the house? Secondly, we've got issues with footpad dermatitis because you get the contact between that litter and manure and the bird, and managing that litter so that we have the best feed is an important issue for the industry, because that's one of the major products that they're selling right now.
What litter materials are available to growers now?
The pine shavings have been the gold standard for years. It's hard to get pine shavings in many parts of the country, so people are investigating all sorts of alternatives. Many people are looking at byproducts such as paper, but as advertising moves online, we're having less and less products like that. Construction materials. It's really how close you are to that source. We're looking now at growing a grass-based poultry litter so that the industry can control both the quantity and quality of that litter material. And so we've done a lot of research over the last 5 years, looking at how do we scale up and make a grass-based litter work in commercial broiler production.
Which grasses are you looking at?
We started with giant miscanthus and Bermuda grass. Those performed well. We're getting more into a breed of giant miscanthus called Freedom, which Reprieve Renewables has licensed and is producing on a commercial scale. That particular giant miscanthus grows 25 tons an acre, so you get a lot of volume for a small amount of land. And so far in all of our trials, it is holding up well in the commercial conditions that we've tested it in.
How does variability in industry production schemes impact the whole question?
There's a large variability in how houses are managed across both within complexes and across the southeast, and really getting our handle on what the industry's needs are, how economics play into that. The economics is one of the major questions. Can we take some of the money that we're spending on some of these litter treatments and methods of maintaining our current litter, can we put those towards more clean outs and but still have a viable litter management scheme that's economical for the growers?
Well, I noticed in your research data the ammonia emission level for one of the grasses was about half that of built-up litter. I know that we're comparing built-up litter versus a newer litter bedding, but can you talk a little bit about that? How does it compare across the different bedding materials?
Sure. We did a demonstration in a house where we top dressed our chopped grasses on some built-up litter and then compared that with the built-up litter itself. It had about half of the ammonia generation coming off, and that's partly due to dilution and keeping that manure buildup interface below the surface. And it sort of points at that a partial house clean out may be a viable solution with these new bedding materials as alternatives to, say, using maximum litter amendments and litter windrowing and some of these other things that are cumbersome to the grower for that 7 to 14 day time that they have to manage this litter.
Well, what does the cost and availability of some of the alternative litter sources, how does that work?
Sure. Everybody's always looking for the free byproduct that they can get for nothing. The issue with that is once you show and do a research paper that says that it's a good alternative, all of a sudden that material becomes more pricey. The owners want something for that. And so we've been looking at the other issue with pine shavings is you got a lot of competition from wood pellets going overseas, lignocellulosic ethanol production, the threats of that coming on. All these wood products are being diverted to more higher value products. And so the reason that we're strong with the grass-based litter is that if the growers or the companies can control the supply, that they've got that available. And the price with chopped giant miscanthus is in the same price range as pine shavings, so there's not a big discrepancy in economics there.
So it could be a sustainable system.
Yes, and go into production within a couple of years. They're growing large quantities of this stuff across the southeast in Georgia and North Carolina, some small plots in Mississippi, and those can be scaled up, 2 or 3 years and go into large mass plantations.
Thank you very much, Dr. Davis, for your time.
Sure, thank you.